Hello Ratbags, it's Jade with a special grounded video taking a look at all the patch notes, what's coming today in terms of the update. The update was meant to go live on the 27th, but they moved it forward by one day. It will be going live today for everyone. We've already seen a teaser video, we've got another teaser image headlining this post, and we've got a bunch of fixes. Look how many stuff there is in this update. I'm going to go through it all, and we're also going to be talking about water content. Is there a big update for the pond? I'm not sure. Let's go into it. Don't forget to like, make sure you subscribe for the best and first grounded news. Always, let's go. The patch goes live at 10 AM PDD time, 1 PM Eastern time, and that's going to be around 6 PM in the UK. And I do believe that's around 2 or 3 o'clock in Australia. If you need any other times for any other countries, well, Google is your friend, people. That's enough times to get going. Just simply put in whatever country you're in compared to PDT time. As of recording, that's about 5 hours away by the time you see this video. Also, the developers are going to be live streaming an hour before the update goes live on Xbox Twitch. So go and check out that channel. I am going to be live streaming their live stream, showing off what they're doing, and we're going to talk about it as well. New features to be announced tomorrow. Now, when I first looked at these patch notes, I was sure that we were not going to get the water update. I was pretty sure that it just didn't have anything talking about any of the stuff we'd seen. No news about insects being added, pretty much zilch. But then, of course, I did see that at the top, to be announced tomorrow. So it does look like they're keeping some stuff secret or a surprise for when the update goes live. I'm pretty pleased about that, and I'm really hopeful that the water update does drop. I've been telling you guys I was a bit worried it wouldn't, because so many of the stuff that we'd seen in the preview builds weren't necessarily working as well, or just looked very unfinished. And I assumed that the very first update they would do, like the big update, not just hot fixes, would be more fixing stuff and balances and changes, not adding a whole host of content. If they keep this up, Grounded could be one of the best early access game preview games I've ever played. Art Survival Evolved did it pretty well during early access. Despite its problems, they had updates pretty much every single month, adding new creatures, new items, new things. But there was always some big massive drama, or there was a lot of negatives with it always being broken, delayed. And particularly when it came out on console, there was always some issues and problems with the updates themselves. But so far, with their hotfixes they've done, they've been pretty quick. I think the Obsidian devs have done a great job. I've covered every survival game going over the last 3 years, everyone that's come to console, and honestly, they are doing so much better than I'd say 90% of the games I've covered. Even just getting the patch notes ready for people is one step up over other companies, other games. Anywho, let's crack on. In this image here as well, you can see we've got more confirmation we're getting the fence posts. We knew that already from the teaser video they did, and there does look to be a new table, or is that already something in game? We have got the pollen holder, and we do have the flower sort of trap. Maybe they've just changed the visuals on it. But it does look to me like this is proper furniture stuff they've added. And if this is a proper table, that looks really cool. And hopefully we can start actually sitting in the chairs. Okay, so what I do with the patch notes is I pretty much will go through it as quickly as possible, and I'll skim over really boring stuff. So first off, combat changes. The Spider Fang Dagger has been buffed. It's going to be better now on the higher end of tier 2 weapons. Thank the Lord. So far, it's been pretty rubbish. It's been one of the worst weapons because it just literally runs out of durability too quickly. You only get maybe a good few kills out of it, and then that's it. You've got to repair it. So definitely, this will be great. We'll test this more thoroughly when it's launched. Spike traps are going to do more damage. We did a live stream the other day. I tested this more thoroughly, and for sure, against some creatures, they just don't think they were really doing their job. The amount that you have to spend in resources, particularly stems, making spike traps is huge. So I'm really hopeful that either that's going to be reduced, or indeed they will do more damage, so we don't have to keep making more and more of them. Spiders have got brand new attack. They haven't just got their basic bite, they will be doing something else. If you've been using the perfect blocking glitch, that looks like that's going to be nerfed. Lots of players have pretty much been OP gods because they found a way to literally just spam block, and they can pretty much defend against any creature always. They've actually reduced the damage given by the eye patch. I did my ranked armor and item pieces, and I said the eye patch was great, but it does seem like it has been a bit OP. Lava Blade Poison is going to be more thorough, it's going to be more balanced, and they've reduced the stun ratings of two-handed weapons. So it does look like things like the Mint Mallet might not be as OP as they were. And you can see that they've also reduced the damage in the Mint Mallet, so it's in line with progression. Tier 2 insects now have a cooldown after being stunned before they can be stunned again, and perfect blocking no longer reduces armor durability. Now there's a bunch of stuff with interface, but I consider this kind of the boring stuff, and you'll find out for yourself when you load up the game. But you can pretty much drag items onto the paper doll character in the screen and it'll pretty much drop that whole stack. When you craft an item and you've got a full inventory, there will be a notification now telling you that the item's been dropped in the world. And they've changed all the colours for storage, flag marker icons, they've regrouped them and they've pretty much shifted the colours. If you run around and you can't see any of your flags that you previously had, you're going to have to run around the yard to pretty much make them render in, and that will change them and make them back to normal. It does look like they've changed some of the scab colours, hopefully not too much, but it does seem that some of them were too similar to each other. And they've now added an effect that you can turn on in accessibility settings so that you can see stuff that is interactable more clearly. And the last big one, I guess first, was updated raw science icon, so you'll see them more clearly too. The rest of the stuff is there, and I will leave the patch notes in the comment section so you can read them at your leisure. But hopefully you're watching this as you're downloading the update, or you're just playing the game and you got me in the background. They've moved the Clover Cave layout and lighting, and they've changed the entrance slightly. They've changed a lot of the flooded area layout in the southeast corner of the yard, so that means there could be all sorts of new stuff there. They've changed the electrical socket, so it's now going to be proper looking art rather than just like a rectangle block. Really important now, if you leave any items not in a container in the world, between 48 and 72 hours, they will eventually despawn. So if you go and explore the hedge, you drop some of your tools because you're getting lots of berries, and you decide to come back for them berries a little later, well, if you leave it too long, your items, your tools will be gone. You're going to have to make sure you proper put boxes down everywhere and start making outposts. Once you load your save though, you will have around 48 to 72 hours to get them items, just in case you have left a bunch laying around. Critters and players now have effects in water, and the brand new items for food are going to be appearing. You've got Archer cookies / Oreo biscuits, along with their Billy Hogs and apples. I do believe Billy Hogs are a type of hot dog or sausage. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was when I looked in the game files. Now, apples have been appearing, but it looks like they were really sporadic, or we had just the apple cores, so this might actually be full apples now. And they've got new footprints throughout the yard. We saw that in a teaser trailer, so this signifies obviously it's someone's garden and they've been running around their backyard. Buildings. Base buildings will be more reliably anchored when built on top of objects such as the baseball. Palisades are not going to collapse when attaching buildings are removed. And water containers can collect falling droplets. Does this mean that it's going to be rain soon? It does look like it, or at least it's going to fill up over time, a bit like your water nets. Who knows, maybe it'll be a case of popping it underneath one of the fountains. You know, one of the sprinklers, there's quite a few of them around the yard. So maybe you can put them down and that's where you were going to get the water. Or it's going to be juice, maybe putting it right underneath a straw and you'll be able to collect it. You can now drink while holding weapons. Stairs embedded in the ground, light scaffolds and stamp and ramps, yay. Walls that are sandwiched above by 2 floors will have their crenellation suppressed, and when you're interacting with a weapon wall mount, the camera's going to work properly. Performance, lots of performance, particularly for PC players and Windows 10, and better GPU performance during night time. They're also helping with the lag with large bases. Scabs have been made bigger. You'll notice them a lot better. They'll have more of a pulsing light, so hopefully that means you'll be able to find them. I've already done a video showcasing all 23 locations of the currently known ones, and there are 4 more hidden ones possibly added, who knows. Hedgeberries now float in water. They've stopped all the ants ganging up on weevils. You're not going to come across like 10 ants bullying just one weevil. Maybe only some of them will, and others will still carry on just gathering other bits of food. Animations for spear and use have been improved in first person, and you should now see the grass extend to all of the yard instead of only maybe halfway and then seeing lots of dirt. Ants can now find and store lost ice caps. Soldier ants can now properly drop ant heads as loot, and tall woody weeds are now displayed as husky weed. Dandelions and husky weed both still supply weed stems, but husky weed now respawns. So that will solve the big problem of everyone complaining that their weed stems have disappeared. Ants will not be happy if you take their eggs. There's going to be some new smoothies at the smoothie station. I can't wait to find out what they are. I will do a smoothie updated guide because the one I showed you guys during the early stages of the game, or just as the demo was finishing, they did change some of the ingredients anyway, and we didn't really know what some of the buffs did properly. Bug fixes. There are loads of bug fixes here, but I'm just going to rattle through them very, very briefly. Basically, items and insects aren't going to spawn in places you can't get to them. Hopefully, they're not going to be respawning under the map. A big problem with the ants and the anthill, why you weren't getting any eggs, was ants were getting stuck out in the world. And also ladybugs too were getting stuck, and it was very hard to find them. They were there in the game, but they were underneath rocks. And a big one that we again tested in our live stream recently was that ants can pretty much get through your base no matter what. They could literally walk through your walls when you weren't looking at them, or where they were away at a faraway base. This was all tested during a live stream recently, and lots of you guys was telling me it was because the arrows were pointing in. Well, obviously it was just a bug, so it doesn't matter what way the arrows point now. Hopefully this is fixed, and hopefully this will stop the ants from just walking through your walls. They'll still probably try and get your food, but it looks like they're going to have to actually damage your walls now. And they fixed the giant arrows that appear sometimes when shooting large insects. They fixed some game crashes as well, and pretty much if you decide to destroy any base parts, it's not going to crash the game just because you've taken away one piece that makes everything else disappear. They've made changes to item equipment and resources. Buildings that are attached to walls and floors will collapse as well if the floor or wall they are on collapses. The large rake rock now has proper collision. Soda pop can now be dumped from a canteen. Fix the gas arrows not being one-time use. I kind of like the idea that the arrows have only limited abilities though. It is a bit cheesy and OP that the arrows can be used over and over again. Rotten bee armor can no longer be repaired for free. You're going to actually have to find some resources. I'm guessing it's still going to be something, well, like super glue, maybe one of them ones to do it. There's a bunch of world fixes, but to be honest, they're boring. Just lots to do with third person aiming and punching and the camera movements going around. UI, they fixed the scab bug scheme not appearing in lists correctly, so now it will be a proper scab. That's the one that's in the abandoned anthill. It pretty much is just a replica at the moment, so hopefully it's got a new name. If your levels are good, the scab won't longer flash that it's saying that you need something. And that is pretty much it, guys. There's going to be more content. We now know there is something, new features to be announced tomorrow. But whatever they are, it doesn't look like they're going to be significant in terms of patch notes. Or maybe we will get a updated patch notes tomorrow. If we do, I will cover them again just to keep you guys all in the loop. I'm going to be here streaming from 3 o'clock UK time. We're going to see what we can do for a couple of hours maybe, or an hour, just playing through the game, getting ready for the water update. You guys can join me. If you're a Patreon member, you get first access. And then at 4 o'clock, the devs are streaming on Twitch, as I said, on Xbox. We'll probably go and check out their stream and talk about the changes together and see what's happening until the update is ready to go. I've got loads of content planned tonight, so always keep it locked, keep it here first, exclusive for the best in grounded content. I'll see you ratbags later.